What's up, everybody? A Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on Space Engineers. When we left off in the last episode, I had kind of given a sort of progress update, if you will, on the base. And I went ahead and built this area up the way that we had talked about in the last episode, although I have not gotten the comments and such back from that episode, so I'm still open to kind of manipulating or moving things around as needed. I've also been trying, as you can kind of see, to finish off the ring. I have one little chunk left over there, and then I'm kind of thinking the next step will be, at least for this part, to go along with like, angle blocks or something like that and kind of clean up the edge and make it look a little bit more like a ring or something, a little more finished anyway. Now, I do have a couple of other, how do I put this, other projects, I suppose, involved. We talked about encasing these in glass or lights or whatever. So we could do a lot more on the ring, the drill control out here. We could also move to more of a capital ship design. I do think there will be a couple of episodes of that in terms of a creative build, possibly just to get the design of the ship going, kind of like I did with the Shooting Star, where you do a couple episodes of designing and then you end up doing, some other stuff then where you jump in and it's like, okay, now it's going to be time to build it type of thing. So there is that. One thing that I wanted to show, though, before we get going on this, is I did sort of cave in the interest of time, and rather than doing my own script and whatnot, I've used a couple of scripts here to manage some stuff. So I've got Izzy's inventory manager running, and as you can see, we have 0 ore. Now, for a little bit here, I've been trying to see if this thing's chucking ore out somewhere and not telling me, because I had over 2,000 to 3,000 ore for stone. And within, I don't know, I think I let this run for like an hour or two off camera where I was just like eating dinner kind of thing, and I came back and I had like 1,000, and I was kind of like, huh? And then even this, when I started this episode, I was around 800k, and somewhere along the way now I have no more stone. So I'm kind of impressed with at least the way that it's been managing stone. Although I will say it may not be that fishy, because with Izzy's script running, I hope it's Izzy. If it's IZ or something else, I'm butchering it, but oh well. My bad. So if it is that script that's running, one of the things that it's doing is constantly putting more of the stone in and moving things out that isn't needed, etc. and so on. So that could be keeping them running more efficiently all the time. I don't know. I've also got a different script here running, which this one is LCD... hold on. I don't want to misquote it. I've got one for the image here going that it's the LCD inventory by Helfima? I'm not sure. But it's that one. And I thought this was kind of cool because it essentially is drawing the icons and stuff, which is crazy to me. It's not like, it's not like just posting a bunch of images or something. I could be using the images from the game. I'm not sure. I didn't dig into the code that deeply. But I thought it was kind of cool. And I've got Izzy's stats here. Now, I'm a little mixed on these transparent screens for this particular situation, not in general. I really like them in general, but I'm wondering if they shouldn't be the upper layer, like higher, so that it's a little easier to read them. Here on the backdrop of like the moon and the ship and stuff, it makes it a little harder. These upper ones are probably more consistently got a darker background. However, I do believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe if we go in here and set the background color to something other than black, I think, yeah, you can kind of see it. So you can actually set this, let's do like 25 just for testing purposes. But you can actually set this to have a more opaque background thing, so there is that. But So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about these screens here because we could set it to the same that I've been setting all of my other LCD screens where it's a little darker and then you got a darker blue, but I don't know. Anyway, but we've got an inventory readout that shows us I have it set to ores and ingots, mainly just because if I do everything components and whatnot, it's kind of a little bit long and it scrolls and yada yada, and essentially ingots is more like, if you can't make something, what do I need? I need this. Okay. And this one I'm kind of using as a little bit of an easier to read, just readout. Like I walk in, I need steel plates. Oh, I've got 4.5 thousand. Okay, cool. So I kind of like this one's readability, if that makes sense. But I do like this in terms of information that's going on kind of thing. And the main one here, it just gives me a full readout. I've also got the warnings and performance one just so that I could kind of read things. Eventually I'll probably do one of these screens dedicated to like the drill, like what its status is and so on and whatnot. And that said, I'm tempted to do another drill run just so you guys can see it running because it's working now. We don't have any more stone, but I think a full run would probably make it pretty. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to expand my storage. Essentially, I've got the overflows, but I don't think these crates here are going to be enough. So here's what I'm proposing in mind. I'm thinking these will be my access point crates, which if I ever just need to get ingots, they're here. And again, with Izzy's script running, most of them are actually... Wait a minute, I don't want this one to be the tool. Oh, phooey. It changed something. Dagnabbit. I had this one as cargo. We're gonna change this. I don't know why it did one for tools, but I don't really need tools, and if I do, it's not gonna be here. So we're gonna put ores here. That may be part of why my stuff was getting moved around. Now that should throw us an error here. No problem. Alright, we need to rerun it. Sorry, it's kind of a little bit of, you know, management, whatnot, but there should be a flag that says there's no tools. One, because I turned that off. I hate that. Stop renaming things. I know you can turn that off, but I like it for the most part, but when I've already got things named, it shouldn't be doing that. I'm still kind of getting used to the script a little bit. I feel like I have it relatively under control, but I had all of my overflow containers and whatnot named, and so I used the flags that it said to use if you didn't want it renaming things, but it keeps renaming things, and it's kind of annoying me. I don't have the auto crafting turned on yet either because I want to... I want to figure out exactly how I want to set that up. I do have the assemblers named, however. I have them marked for assemble only and whatnot, so that if I turn them on, or if I turn the script on, it should work fine. So anyways, we've got kind of the inventory management system going on, and it's doing everything it should be doing, I think, as long as it stops renaming my crates, which it keeps doing. But I might go in and turn tools and ammo and all that one off, because it keeps trying to rename that, and it's annoying me. But, that said, I do think I might do some subterranean connected to the same grid, but outside of the air pressurized environment here that connect to these guys, but they're basically just raw storage crates, because I feel like I can't seem to have enough of those. However, I have not implemented the tier or gravel systems yet from the mods, because I hadn't gotten the feedback from the last episode yet, so I don't know if everybody's on board with that or not. So, that said, that could change things, because we could turn these in here into tier whatever, and possibly hold a lot more storage containers. So that's something else. I also added this in here. This is kind of the server room now, if you will. I think I'm going to add a couple of lights for each thing. And I'm also thinking about changing some of these textures in here to be, like, here's an example. Let's set this as basically the same, but then I kind of want the frosted armor. Where is that? There we go. So this is, I think, the same color as this one. So let's try that. I don't know why everything just hung up. That was really weird. Everything just like froze. Get it? Froze. I picked the coal. Anyway, I just think this would be kind of an interesting setup, mainly because most of the time server rooms and stuff like that are kept very cold if they're servers and whatnot. So, actually, how do I get to that block? I may have to do something about that, because there's a light bar there and it won't let me get to that block. I hate that kind of stuff. If I can see the block, I should be able to point my crosshair at it and paint it. I don't really like that about the way that Space Engineers does their targeting kind of thing. It's like if it's in the box, then it won't let you see past it, and it's like, well, that's annoying. Because if I paint this right now, I guarantee you, yep, it paints the lights. It won't let me paint anything else there. That's annoying. But anyway, so that's kind of an interesting idea, especially since we've got like the vents here, or vent, you know. I don't know how that looks though. It's a little contrasty. Like, I was kind of hoping the color of the frost would make it a little more subtle, like it's just kind of there, and it seems almost like if you picked frosted, it just does frosted. It doesn't really... Here's something. Let's check this on the full black color. Let's see if that does anything different. Barely. There was barely any change there. You can see it in the grays right there. It's just hardly there. So, I don't know how I feel about that. That's not exactly the look I was going for. But I do kind of like the idea of, with the vent and everything, that it's like this is the cold type room. But, I mean, I can't do the flooring the same way and everything, because the texture here is the texture, not the frosted one. It's like if I change that, it won't stay this floor pattern. So, I don't know. I'm actually going to undo this for now. And you guys can tell me what you think about that in the comments and whatnot. Because I don't know how I feel about that. If it worked the way I had it pictured in my head, it would have been cool. But so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the walkway out here. And I might try and beautify the walkway a little bit, and we might work on the drill area a little bit, mainly because there's a couple of ideas that I don't want to implement, like expanding the storage rooms and stuff, if we're going to end up doing the tiered mods, and I could just upgrade these to higher tier storage containers. And the same kind of with some of the other stuff, like the running the drill and things. It's like, well, if we're going to do that, I need either more storage or I need to expand those, and so on and so forth. So it's kind of contingent on some of the modding and what we do with it. Also, that I still have, let me see real quick here, I still have 900,000 gravel, so, you know, so there's that. But yeah, so I think I'm going to work on that, and I will come back when I have some more progress. Okay, so I've been doing some work here and there, and I've got this kind of thing going on at the moment. Now, I'm not 100% sold on it, but it's kind of been pretty decent so far. I've got the kind of airlock door system set up here that it's not, you know, you're going to lose some air here and there, but I'm not too worried about it. I've got a vent hidden under here, and then I went ahead and added catwalks, mainly because I wanted something covering this vent, and also something that I wouldn't fall into that hole, but also just because after I started laying it, then I was like, well, we could just make the whole floor out of this. Now, I've also realized how much glass these windows take up, which is a lot, but, you know, what are you going to do? Now, one annoying thing that I found is I am having a terrible time getting the game to connect to those one-by-one faces there. It's really aggravating me because it's like I'm pointing right at the dang things and it keeps trying to grab this 1x2, and I don't understand that at all. Like, it, it doesn't make any sense to me. Oh, and that one doesn't have enough girders. See, I didn't even know that because I can't get it to highlight it for anything. It's so aggravating. I think the annoying part is it'd be one thing if you're like trying to go through the window or something, but I mean, I'm pointing right at it. So it's kind of like, come on. Come on. What is the deal here? At one point I was even doing this, where I like flew in upside down, because as you can see, then I can actually get a hold of the thing. And it's like, I should not have to do this. It's so annoying. Anyway. It's just par for the course with space engineers, right? But I've been eating through glass, though, like crazy. I did not realize how much glass it eats up. But I'm not the biggest fan of having these doors stick out here, but I don't really know of a better way to do it. I wanted this, not octagon, but kind of octagon shape, where it kind of comes up and then over, so it's not quite like a 45-degree angles everywhere. It's a little more sloped, or rather more narrow or tall, whatever. Words are hard. Which I think the shape of it works pretty well. I kind of like the bunker kind of look to it. But once I did that, I had to throw these metal plates in here because I couldn't get it to seal with glass. I tried doing the side faces that just closed in this ramp, but then I couldn't do one on each side and then do a ramp on both sides either. I put the neon tubes here like we talked about before. I don't know how I feel about these. I'm not sure what I want to do. I don't think I need a second airlock thing or anything to get to it. That's kind of pointless. And it doesn't really even need to be airtight, because basically I'm just going to be, this would be like repair or emergency access or something like that. I don't really need to do anything with that. But with that said, I'm going to make a quick save real quick, hence quick, just so that if anything breaks or goes horribly wrong, I don't have to do any major repairs or whatnot. But I think we're going to actually give the drill another test. For one reason. I haven't... Well, I say for one reason, A, B, C. It's me. For the main reason... Close. The main reason being that Hey, it said I had high oxygen. Was it just right there? That was weird. If you go back and watch, it said high for a second. Probably because I had the door closed. But this one's open. Whatever. It's still probably filling up this whole big room. Anyway, but yeah, mainly because although our inventory is pretty full, I don't actually have too much in the actual ore containers. Why it's only showing one, I don't know. I had multiple ore containers designated. See, this is what I don't get about the Izzy script, is it's like I had all of the overflow crates named, and it keeps renaming them even though I've used the tags it says to use so that they don't get overwritten. And it's kind of irritating me because now even that means this crate is not... Yeah, it's not... Oh, okay, that's frustrating because I'll even show it. I don't care. Just so that nobody thinks that I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know what I'm doing, but still. Define the keyword a cargo container has to contain in order to be recognized as a container of the given type. Ores. Ingots. Components. I put ores on like 6 different containers and now they don't have any. And it's like, well, if the tags are there, then why... If you're going to do it through script, why even list them? Anyway, whatever. But, I'm still figuring out how to properly manage that script thing, but I digress. So I'm going to make a save, and then we're going to do one more run of the drill, not because I really need materials, but mainly just because a couple of people had mentioned being excited about actually seeing it in action, and up until this point I don't think I actually have shown it in action, so we're going to do that. Alright, so I've made a couple of backup save things, I think. Hopefully. We'll see. It should be able... Yeah. Okay, so we're good. Now, there's a couple of caveats here I want to point out, and I've got some overlap here, which, if you were trying to build this yourself or something, wouldn't actually be an issue. Well, unless you were running the Izzy script as well. But I went into my welders, and I actually labeled them with the no inventory management tag so that the script doesn't ever pull anything out of those welders. And the reason I did that was because the script that I'm going to run on this block that kind of controls the sequence basically is supposed to pull all of the resources that it needs into the welders, and if the inventory manager keeps attacking it basically or pulling everything out of it, then that'll kind of mess with my script. I've also labeled, I have a little bit of a difficult time here because I've labeled these connectors, all three of these, with the no inventory management thing as well, I believe, or whatever tag it was to separate it as a separate grid and it would leave it alone. I tried to label these, however, in the blueprint they're not labeled as that, and so as more develop, I don't know if it will really do anything, but then I just went to the root with the welders because really the welders are the only things other than the drills with inventory in them, and I kind of wanted to pull out of the drills. So, that said, in theory, let's see if my script holds up. Now, there is still some stuff I need to do with this script and whatnot. Turn the block on, we'll recompile it, make sure there's no errors, and we'll run. So it says it's got low components, but I don't know if I have those components. Okay, so it did pull what it could, but I should have more than that. Or I thought I had. Yeah, we've got more than that. Okay, I just saw something blip. I don't know what it's doing here. But it should have gotten all of them. In theory, eventually. Okay, let's try and run it again. Like I said, this is still being a temperamental situation. This is one of my scripts. It's not like it's done by somebody else, so I don't really know about all of the problems and whatnot involved yet. But one of the things is I try in the script to, as you can see, kind of average out the inventories so that no one welder is out and can't do anything, but that may be a problem with when it's error checking and whatnot, so that's something I have to work on. Okay, sorry about that. I was messing with some of the inventory stuff as well as my alarm went off in the background and it made a mess of things. So, I think I've gotten this squared away now. One of the things that I just realized was I was looking through the Izzy script again, and I found that the no IIM tag only works for connectors, so there's a locked tag you can use that seems to be working thus far, that basically will turn the, it basically will keep the inventory management script from running on that block. So I set that, and it seems to be leaving it alone for now. So now we're going to turn this back on, recompile, and run it on. And I don't know why it's throwing this error, because it looks like everything is what it should be, except for the construction components, but it keeps spreading them out because that is part of the script that I had it do. But I don't know what else it's 180, 48, 96, 344, 96. It's all the same. It's all the right stuff. And it started with that in there, so there's got to be an error loop going on. Anyways, it's got stuff in there, so it has what it needs. So I'm going to actually turn this off for now because I can't seem to get it to work. So that's on my end. But we'll go to the timer drill, and we'll go ahead and start it. And so we'll see the little blinky thing. I'm going to try and stay a little further away, just so that the loud drill sounds don't end up going bananas. But as you can see, the drills come on, and then it starts to extend. Now, I am going to probably speed this up a little bit, because I think it takes a full 2 to 5 minutes. remember what I have it set for now, actually, now that I think about it. Timer... minute, so it's like 2 minutes or something, minute and a half. I think it's 2. I don't think I needed that to be that way, but just to be safe, I wanted to make sure it had enough time. Because at one point when I tried this and the drills were making it go a little bit slower, so I ended up slowing it down a bit. But yeah, I'm gonna speed this up until we get to the next point. Okay, so now we're at the extension point, basically, and I don't remember how much time there is. There's a little bit of extra time set up there, but you can see here that the next piston comes in and extends, that one turns off and retracts, and then this connector should turn on, and then you'll start to see these retract down. And so then, based on the way that the pillar blueprint is set up, this will come down and it should align with this merge block here, and then the merge blocks and connectors will reconnect up here and disconnect down here, and that should be the end of the sequence. But once again, I'll speed this up a little bit so that you can see the whole thing in all of its glory. Okay, so once again we're at this point, and now the next timer block should engage and move the top pistons forward and turn all that on, turn the projector back on. Well, actually it doesn't turn it back on, but it just reconnects. That'll connect, and then those turn off. And I'm guessing these have a little bit of weight to them, because when they're full they kind of bob like that a little bit. So it's probably still got quite a bit of stone. There's stone even in the cryo chamber, so... I mean, probably shouldn't have done that, actually, but we got 100%, 100%, and 100% overflow here. Although I am kind of surprised there's only 3 overflow ones that are actually... Why has it got 3 or 4 tools and ammo bottles? That doesn't make any sense. I think I broke the script. Yeah, I've got stone. There's stone everywhere, basically, at this point. So, yeah. There's a lot of stone going on. That's why I said I'm not sure if I should have actually given it another run or not, because now it basically won't have any place to put anything, for the most part. Although, see, this one, I even have this set to know it's a connector, and it's still, but... there might be some overflow issues as far as it doesn't have a choice kind of thing if it doesn't have anywhere else to go. So that's kind of how the drill runs, and it works great. The bigger issue is storage. As you can see, the bar over here is now red. I just now noticed that. Yeah, now we have high oxygen. But yeah, the bar is like 98% full. Now, the nice part about it not being 100% full is that we still have some room. I'm not sure, but I think that's... Am I wrong in that it says... Wait, 11 million stone? That doesn't sound right. But then it's got stone down here, so I think I broke it. Like, I don't think the scripts can keep up with that for some reason, but like I said, I'm still kind of getting the hang of the Izzy script and whatnot. I'm not the best at it by any stretch. But we can definitely start making use of some of our material. Now, that said, like I said before, I haven't read the comments on the last video because, again, by the time I'm recording this, I still haven't released it to YouTube yet. But I am open to the idea of doing a standalone kind of this is how you would go about constructing the drill kind of thing for any of you that are interested. That'll be separate from the Let's Play kind of side of things, just to... you know, make it a little bit easier on everybody so that there's not a whole lot of videos that are just about that kind of thing. But I think in terms of the Let's Play side of things, I'm almost thinking we lean towards a bit of the capital ship design and then construction. Main reason being I've got a crap ton of stone now, and so I'm trying to figure out ways to make use of it. And that seems like a pretty good way to make use of it. So that's kind of my theory, I think. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and finish up, finishing this thing, because I kind of want to see if it's sealed, and I don't know if it is or not. So let me finish this up really quick, and then we're going to wrap things up for the episode. Okay, so I finally got this finished up. I was sitting here like, oh no, it's not sealed, and all of the doors are open, so that's a good indication. I also wanted to point out that this was actually a lot easier from inside for some reason. So apparently the back face, or the front, I guess, the tinted side of this has issues sometimes, but if you're going from the viewing side, it seems fine. This concerns me a little bit, though. I don't know if it's going to see this as airtight. Oh, I could just do... what's the keys? There we go. Airtightness. Let's see... is it going to see it? I don't like that it's not seeing it. That's not good. Because that makes me think that it's not going to work. We can make really good and sure by just closing all the doors and seeing if the vent turns on, but I'm not thinking that's going to work. No, it's not seeing it as airtight. Dagnabbit. See, this is some of the things that I hate about Space Engineers. It's one of those, there's no real reason you couldn't do that, but because this is why, before everybody gets all defensive, this is why I don't like this. In Medieval Engineers, that would work because it would just become a combination block, air quotes. But they never added that function to Space Engineers, and it drives me bananas. Because in Medieval Engineers, same company, same devs, did that to where you could occupy the same, or two different blocks in the same space, and it'd be fine. But they never did it with Space Engineers, and I still don't understand why. It's not even like saying XYZ company did it, but you guys did. It's the same company. Like, you guys have done it on the same engine before. Anyway, I'm ranting. I digress. Anyway, this is only going to work if we're okay with it not being sealed, which I might be for aesthetic reasons, unless I can figure out a better alternative for how to seal that, but I can't think of any really without, because I would have to go over the front edge too, and that wouldn't work. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments and whatnot. But in the meantime, I think we're going to wrap things up here. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace.